My name is Terry. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Terry.
It's good to be here tonight. It's good to be anywhere sober. I'm your main speaker's advance man tonight. Donna pushes me out ahead of her to find out if the crowd's any good or not. And if you guys look dangerous, I'm supposed to warn her and she changes her talk then. It's always a pleasure to be asked to participate in the meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'm honored to be here tonight. What I have to say is primarily directed at Ken and Debbie, so the rest of you can just talk amongst yourself for 10 minutes, because it's the newcomers that are the most important people in the room here tonight. And boy, when I was new, I loved hearing that. I loved hearing that because I wanted to be the most important person in the room. I wanted to be a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, I wanted to be a good member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I wanted to be a great member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I want to be a premier member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Actually, I want to be the president of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I'd figured out how to do that. I thought that if you wanted to be the president of Alcoholics Anonymous, you went to the guy who was the president of Alcoholics Anonymous, and what you asked him was this: is there anything I could do to help? Because you think that really they'll just make you the vice president right away. And so I did that, and this guy that I thought was the president, he looked at me and he said, yeah, he says, you can help. He said, after the meeting, when everybody's done here, he said, I want you to go around the room, he says, and I want you to pick up all the metal ashtrays. Don't touch any of the glass ashtrays. I couldn't even touch the glass ashtrays. So right away, my legs were cut out from under me. He stepped on my ego. I'm out there. I'm picking up the metal ashtrays. I'm dumping the metal ashtrays, washing the metal ashtrays. I'm putting the metal ashtrays away. Within 3 weeks, when you came to that meeting, don't touch the metal ashtrays. Those are my metal ashtrays. They are the cleanest metal ashtrays in all of New Jersey, which is where I'm from. I had them numbered and counted. And then I was allowed to touch the glass ashtrays. And that was a big step. And then they introduced me to the mop. And so I'm gradually working my way up the ladder of success in Alcoholics Anonymous, on my way to being the president. Interestingly enough, our home group, which happens to be the Sobriety Capital of the World Group in Indio, California, registered in New York that way, numbered 101368, is a recovery center. And there's a lot of new people at the recovery center. And somebody, somewhere along the line, started the rumor that I was the president of Alcoholics Anonymous. And not being one to tell them any different, one guy came to me here not too long ago, and he said, I understand you're the president of Alcoholics Anonymous. I said, yeah. And he said, well, are you the president of the local chapter? I said, no. I said, I'm the president of the whole damn thing. What I didn't tell him was that he is too, as are we all here tonight, the presidents of Alcoholics Anonymous. I did give him a hint, however. I told him that if he was interested in finding out about the presidency, that he should read the Concepts of Service manual, which is a very interesting document, a publication. I said it's in there in the first Concepts of Service. It says specifically that I am the president of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I said you really want to get that book if you're having difficulty sleeping, because that sucker is dry as toast, man. I want to tell you that book is a fire hazard. But there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's a lot of good stuff in there about how Alcoholics Anonymous is structured and how it is not structured. And in there it talks about who is in charge here, and we are. So we're all the president of Alcoholics Anonymous. I neglected to mention that I do have a sobriety date. It's the 25th of September, 1970, and I also have a sponsor. And those are the things, that and the home group, are the things that make me a member in good standing of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'm proud to be a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I would like to say that I had instant success when I first came here, but that's not the truth. The truth is when I first came to Alcoholics Anonymous, I had difficulty comprehending the actual meat of the program, which is we don't drink here. Had difficulty understanding that. And yeah, I know that a lot of things that you people said kind of went right over my head. Some of the things I grasped, but some of the things were difficult for me to understand. For example, you said to me, if a guy didn't want to get a haircut, he wouldn't hang around a barber shop. And at that stage of my life, I knew about haircuts, but I didn't know what you were talking about when you told me that, and so I said, yeah, okay, that's cool, but I did not have a clue what they meant by that. What they meant by that was that it would probably not be a good idea for me to have my lunch in a tavern across the street from where I worked, which, by the way, is where I was having my lunch, and So one day when I came to work and I showed up a little late, I was not prone to getting to work very early. They wanted me there at 8. I could get there at like 10:15. The boss and I had a little chat right there at the time clock, and he made some remarks about my timeliness, and I made a few remarks about his mother and father, suggesting perhaps that they should get married someday. And then I went across the street to this tavern where I had my lunch every day, and I ordered a drink. And I'd been without a drink now for 6 months, and this was a very upsetting experience for me because I was waiting for everyone that I'd met in Alcoholics Anonymous to come running in the door and catch me at that moment with this drink in front of me. And I'm sorry to say that I drank that drink. And then I waited to be stricken drunk because, you see, one of the other things that I'd heard so often at meetings was it's the first drink that gets you drunk. And so now I waited to be stricken drunk because I just had this first drink, and I got to tell you the truth, it wasn't happening. And so you people were all wrong. I was a social drinker, and I decided that I would have another drink. And again, I waited to be stricken drunk, and again, it didn't happen, although I did get a little warmth right in here. And so now I'm a social drinker because how many drinks do a social drinker have? A couple of drinks, and I'd had my 2, and I was about ready to leave that place when something terrible happened. The bartender set another drink up on the bar, and he went like this. And I found out what this means. I'm going to try and kill you now, Mr. Egan, is what that means. The bartender bought me a free drink. Okay, now if there's anybody here tonight that's familiar with bar etiquette, I love that term, bar etiquette. It's really kind of an oxymoron. But if you're familiar with bar etiquette, you know that when someone buys you a drink, you cannot leave. You must drink that drink. And then, of course, you must buy him one back. And so the next thing that happened was I quit my job over the phone. And then I went across the street to get my check. And then I went to New York City to cash my check because where else can you cash a check? And then the very next thing that I remember was standing at my dresser the next morning with this little pile of crumpled money. You know how your money gets when you drink? It just kind of gets all crumpled up. And I'm uncrumpling this money, and it's George Washington. George Washington. George Washington. About 4 or 5 George Washingtons. No Lincolns, no Hamiltons, no Jacksons, certainly no Grants or Franklins. In 24 hours, I'd gone right back to where I'd been 6 months ago. 24 hours. So is it the first drink that gets you drunk? I don't know. I know the free one well. And I began to comprehend then exactly what they're talking about here in Alcoholics Anonymous. I have to tell you that if you're new here tonight, and we know we have a few people that are new here tonight, you are the most important people in the room. And if there's anything that happens here tonight, if you hear anything that you don't understand, if someone says something, I will say, I wonder what they meant by that. Go to them and find out. Or go to someone else and find out. And if you're not new here tonight, if you've been around for a while, and you have an opportunity, and someone introduces himself as a newcomer, go over them, talk to them, give them your phone number. Don't worry, they won't call you. Because that's the essence of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's one alcoholic talking to another, just like we're doing here tonight. Again, thank you very much for having me here, and you're going to have a wonderful speaker tonight.